First, I'd like to thank the organizing committee for having me in the 5th International Congress of Music and Mathematics. And hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm going to talk about rhythmic illusions. So the first thing I want to say is, by the book, I could say that there are basically two types of rhythmic illusions that are displacement is the first one, and the second one is rhythmic modulation or tempo modulation. There is a third type of rhythmic illusion that I'm bringing to the table today that I call C syncopation. So I'm going to make and show some brief and quick examples of each type of rhythmic illusions. Okay, so I'll start with displacement. Displacement, I could say that it's the simplest type of rhythmic illusion. Basically, you have, for instance, a drum pattern that is written down below here. It's a 4/4. The pulse is based on 8th notes, and I have like tum ta tum tum ta tum ta tum tum ta. So this is a very basic drum groove. I have represented this drum groove up here using the necklace notation due to some, and the blue color is assigned to the bass drum, and the red color is assigned to the snare drum. So a displacement is a type of rhythmic illusion when you take the whole drum pattern and just shift it forward or backwards a couple or a certain amount of time subdivisions. So for instance, in this example here, I have pushed forward 1/8 note. So it's almost like if you take a quick look in this figure here on the right side, you can see that it is exactly this figure here on the left side after a rotation clockwise of 1/8 note. So here, down here, you can see the drum pattern pushed forward in 1/8 note is a shift, okay? So what I call rhythmic illusion by displacement is really when I play the drums is switching between the first groove, the original groove, and then I switch to the shifted version. And that causes the impression that something is out of place, a little awkward or something like it. So this strangeness that is mobilized by this switch between rhythms is what I call the rhythmic illusion. So I'm going to play a very quick track when I play some bars of the original drum beat, and then I move to and I switch to the shift one, so you can hear how it goes. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. This is the shift. Original 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So, I think that the most interesting thing about this is that if you really be a little more critical about it, the drummer is playing the very same thing. It's exactly the same rhythm, but he's just shifted forward a little bit. So maybe the drummer is actually proposing an experience to the listener where the very same rhythm is placed everywhere, and this strangeness is some resource of communication. It's a very important resource of communication. Strangeness is a very important part of communication. So this is, I must confess that this is the type of rhythmic illusion that I like the less, to be honest with you. But the next one is a very interesting and maybe the most powerful rhythmic illusion of all the three I'm going to show you. This second rhythmic illusion is called rhythmic modulation or tempo modulation. And I'm going to show you the most popular rhythm modulation ever. By far, the most popular one is the 4/3 tempo modulation. What I mean by rhythmic modulation is an illusion that when the listener is going on and surfing the music, suddenly he gets the impression that the tempo of the song has changed. Like, what happened? The tempo has slowed down. So rhythmic modulations is some sort of manipulation of time subdivisions in such a way that you can cause the impression or build an impression that the tempo is changing or dragging or rushing. So it will be clear in my example. I will build from the start a very interesting rhythmic modulation. So let's start thinking about the drum groove, whatever, in 4/4. So here on the left side, I have a circle and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say that I am considering a pulse built over eighth notes. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And so if I represent using the necklace notation, I have 8 dots, 8 points, equally spaced in the circle, and that gives me an octagon. It's a regular 8-sided polygon. So it is, and all sides have the same length because the points are equally distant from each other. So this is very important. So if I try to build an illusion where I'm playing around time subdivisions in such a way that I make the listener feel that I'm dragging, what I'll try to do is build a model where I can inscribe other types of polygons, regular polygons, to share a different perspective of pulse. So, okay, so to start, I told you that I would consider a 4/4 and an eighth note pulse. To start with it, let's just forget about the eighth note now. Just think about the 4 beats, the 4/4, and try to think about playing triplets, a quarter note triplets on each tempo here. Tan 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 tan. Then I have 4 tempos here and a quarter note triplet on each one. So here above in the circle on the left, I have 1 and 1 tan tan. This is the first triplet here. It's here. Then the second triplet is here, the third triplet, and the fourth triplet. So this first circle relates to the first line of this music sheet below. If I take the second line, on the second line, I am considering not quarter note triplets, but half note triplets. The half note triplets is like playing a sequence of quarter note triplets, but omitting, not playing some notes here in between, like I play the first, don't play the second. I play the third, don't play the fourth. I play the fifth, and so on. So here, in this circle, on the center, on the blue dots, I have the notes that are played within the triplets, the half note triplets on blue. Tung, 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 okay? So, and here on the right side, I have repeated the same process. I took from the first line to the second, I will repeat from the second line to the third, is that instead of playing half note triplets, I will play whole note triplet. So it's a triplet that takes the whole 4 tempos of the bar. It takes the whole bar. There's a kan, 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 and the 4 tempo. It's a 4 tempo triplet. So I have 3 notes here, and these 3 notes, they are represented by the red dots here. And if you take a quick look, I have 12 points here. 12 points, because I thought initially on playing triplets over 4 tempos. So I have 3 notes, then 3 times 4 equals 12. So I have 12 points here. And 12 is a number that has a lot of divisors. So 6 divides 12, 4, 3, 2, they are all divisors of 12. So there are different and several types of regular polygons that can be inscribed inside the circle using the vertices of these 12 vertices here. So, for instance, these 3 red dots that are here, they are the vertices of an equilateral triangle, a regular triangle. Okay, so I'll show you what I do now. In the meantime, please just focus on, I am considering this whole note triplets. And let's consider this. I will play now 2 bars of a 4/4 groove. 2 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 3rd and 4th bars, I will play only the whole note triplet in such a way that I am playing the triplets between my bass drum and my snare drum. So please notice that here, the first note of the whole note triplet, this is the bass drum, this is the snare drum, this is the bass drum again, the snare drum, the bass drum, and the snare drum. So just let's listen to this. 2. 2. Whole note triplet. Okay, so this is the very structure of my rhythmic illusion, my rhythmic modulation. What I'll do now is just build some things around that. So let's go. Well, to make things a little bit easier, instead of thinking about 4/4 and thinking about triplets, let's think about 12/8 and think, well, okay, I have 4 tempos and each tempo has a subdivision of 3/8 notes. So before, one tempo was 1/4 note in 4/4. Now it's a dotted quarter note on 12/8. So what I'm going to do here is just consider the most popular blue pattern drum, like tung tung ta tung 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 ta. So I'm thinking like 12 divided into 4 groups of 3 notes. So I have 3 notes on the first tempo, 3 notes on the second tempo, and so on. So I have 4 groups of 3 notes, right? So first I play the bass drum here, the snare drum here, the bass drum here, and the snare drum here. What I'm asking you to do now, to join me, is instead of thinking about 12 as 4 times 3, I invite you to think with me as 12 as 3 times 4. I mean, instead of taking 4 groups of 3/8 notes, I'll take 3 groups of 4/8 notes. So take a look down here. I have the bass drum on the very first note, but now I play 4 here, 4 on the cymbal. And the snare drum comes here, not here as before, but after 4, you have 4/8 notes here. And I'm playing the snare drum right here, and then 4 more notes, and I have the bass drum here. And if you do that for 2 bars, what is happening here in 12/8 is exactly what I have just shown you on 4/4 with the whole triplet. That is exactly the very same thing, but thinking and writing on 12/8. So let's listen. I'm going to put the 2 drum patterns here. The first one is 4 times 3. Here, I'll play 2 bars of this. Then I will play this whole cell here. So I will be switching between playing 4 times 3 and playing 3 times 4. Let's listen. This is the regular first one. Now, see? This is the regular, this 4 times 3. Now, this 3 times 4. So, okay, what is going on here? What is going on here is that before I was thinking about, I had 12 notes, and I was taking the snare drum and the bass drum on every 3 notes. So it was like making a square inscribed inside the circle. Now that I'm making a subdivision of 4 notes, like bass drum, 4 notes, snare drum, 4 notes, now I have only 3. So I play 2 bars to close the cycle. In 2 bars, I start, it is a triangle. I start here with a bass drum, that is here, bass drum here in blue, right? So I dun 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 ding ding da, snare drum red. This dot red is here. Now I move on. The blue is here. When I close the first bar, now the first is here is a snare. So I have to take 2. It's like 2 rounds, 2 bars, and I close it. So now we are ready to take it, the really hard and impressing rhythmic illusion. What I do, so this is what I'm going to do now. If you take a quick look here, please notice that I am playing all of the notes in the hi-hat. I'm playing all the 12 notes in the hi-hat, all 12, all of them. I'm playing all of them. So, but here, notice that before, the very first rhythm that I play was 4/4 on an 8th note pulse. And then I moved to triplets and stuff, and suddenly I have to come back to that pulse of 8th notes and 4/4. But what I'm going to do to make this happen is, considering here, instead of playing all the 12 notes on the hi-hat or in the cymbal, I'm going to play out not every one of them. I'm going to put rests in between them. Like I have the first one, not play the second, and I play the third one here, and I play then the other, not play, play, not play, play, not play, and so on. So if you take a quick look here, what I have is a bass drum, and then you have a hit on the cymbal, then on the snare drum, on the cymbal, on the bass drum. This will sound exactly like playing 4/4 with an 8th note pulse. This is exactly the same. But the very interesting here is that before, when I was thinking in 12/8, in 4 groups of 3 notes, one tempo is 3 notes. Now, in the illusionary sense, in the relative tempo that the listener will perceive, is like you have now 4 8th notes in each tempo. So what happens is that you had an increase of 1/3 of duration. So now the pulse duration in the illusion, it equals to 4/3 of the pulse real duration. So if you had a 100 BPM drum groove, like I had in the beginning, this is 100 BPM. When I start playing this crazy stuff here, it will seem that I'm playing 4/4, again, 8th notes, again, but it will sound like 75 BPMs because you have a proportion between the original tempo and the illusionary tempo. And here is the 4/3 metric modulation. So I will show you playing, when I play a couple of bars in 4/4, the original group, and then I will play the rhythmic the rhythmic modulation 4/3. So just listen. 2. Now. This is 100 BPM. This sounds like 75. All right. That's crazy, isn't it? So the most interesting thing is that I am locked into 100 BPM click track in my ear all the time. I am playing 100 BPMs all the time. I am locked in the click track. I am not dragging, but what I play offers a sound experience that makes the listener have the impression that I'm slowing down to 75. It's just like when you are with a friend, like Danielle. Danielle is my friend, right? So I want to talk to Danielle. Danielle, I'm going to tell you something, my friend. The most important thing in life is be happy. So if I tell Danielle that the most important thing in life is, and I'll take some time, and then I slow down, be happy. This is a resource of communication to change the tempo of the speech, the intensity. This is a technique to emphasize and to call attention to parts of your message. So what I really, I guess that my time has run over, but I will show you the last rhythmic illusion afterwards in the questions. If you have questions and want to know what a C syncopation is, I will show you. But just to let you know, what I consider an illusion within an established rhythm context is far more really than just a pattern created by mathematical manipulations of time subdivisions. This is not math. This is communicating. This is art. So rhythmic illusions is a subjective achievement by the listener, mediated by an art form that strives breaking expectance by means of strangeness. And it's rhetoric. It's like inviting and seducing someone, and then betrayal. Betrayal, what is expected, what is in his memory in a cultural sense, things that he was used to hearing on the radio or anywhere. He has a memory, and then suddenly you can break that and use that strangeness to make and to build your message as a musician. So that's it. That's my talk. I thank you, and I apologize for taking more than I should take. But thank you. And if you want to know what a C syncopation is, please ask in the questions. It's like a 3-minute explanation. Thank you.